live. Alright, so let's get the disclaimer out of the way. Any and all information discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered tax, legal, or investment advice. A referral to a commodity is not an indication to buy or sell that commodity. Day trading is risky. Most traders lose money, and past and current results are not an indication for future results. That being said, welcome back to the stream. Today is June 7th. Got about 25 minutes before the market actually opens, so I'm gonna start jotting down everything that happened the past couple of days. Now, I didn't trade yesterday, and it looks like we had a really nice rally overnight, so let's start on the daily. Okay. There's a lot happening here. Let's hide that. Let's open this. Oh, let's hide that. Okay. So this is interesting. Monday had some movement. Yesterday did not. It opened and quickly sold off to the downside and then started pulling back up, and I guess they closed flat. I see this being a consolidation period and then a sell-off, or consolidation period and then pushing off. That being said, there might be two solid trades today. If we open and we quickly sell off, then that would be nice, and then I could also see the reversal, or the same thing, open and quick buy and then a reversal. So today's gonna be interesting. I have to see the technicals on a more intraday period, but yeah, that might be a problem. However, if we do crack Monday's highs, then the next point is up here. Resistance point here, and a resistance point here. Do I have those marked? That, and then that, yeah. So that's where I'm looking at. I definitely need to clean up my chart once we get into a more intraday thing. But right now, for the NQ, breaking out of Monday's highs, I mean, we might hit a resistance level here. Again, is that marked? Yep, it's marked. That right here is a problem. Alright, so don't keep everything synced. See, the issue is that, like, we were having a really strong buying pressure, and now we're hitting a bunch of resistance. Now it's not the top of this push yet. So, you know, there is that. But it is... Okay, so see, this is the thing. This is right before the crash in 2020 happened. This was indication number 1 that we were going to have a problem, and indication number 2 that we were going to have a problem. We're coming back fairly close to be testing this. If we're able to break through this area, then we're going to be able to try to attack that. Problem is, we're finding a lot of resistance at this area right here, and the last time we hit this was March of 22. Before a serious sell-off happened. I expect something like this to be happening, where in June we thought we hit the bottom and then we started to rally throughout July and then slap. Now we've been rallying fairly long, but the last quote unquote slap wasn't that bad. Wasn't anywhere near this. This also June 16th, August 16th. This was 2 months. March 13th. Today, June 7th. It's 3 months. I mean, I see that we're due for a pullback. But is it going to be a little pullback like this? A decent sized pullback like this? Or a complete and utter demolish? Getting demolished like this? I don't know. I generally don't know. I think we're going to sell off and then reverse, or we're going to buy a shit ton and then reverse for today. But these are things to keep in mind. So I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute, to the 1 hour. Let's get this a little more zoomed in. That's low of last week. Let's start with the overnight. Overnight lows. Let's see where the overnight high is. This got triggered yesterday, so this is out. And this was a high of last week. And that was high of this week. I mean, these lines are still in play, so we'll see how that goes. There isn't really any movement. Go back to the daily. I want to see where yesterday's close was. That's where yesterday's close is. Okay. We're consolidating, so this Fibonacci isn't going to help me. The only thing it's going to help me on is finding a bounce here. So like this is a possible bounce. These are areas to keep an eye on. All right. I want these really dark red lines. I prefer that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a big ass clusterfuck right now. I want it to crack through this or crack through this. Now considering this is 115 points, that's a possibility. If we crack through that, then this is the next resistance point that we would have to hit. I think off the open we retest yesterday's close or one of these fib points and then bounce up. I think that's the move. Alright, so that's that on that. Let's try to find out what's going on with the ES. A whole lot of nothing, really. Jesus Christ. Okay. Same thing. A little bit more of a push. We closed red on Monday from here. Then we retested that whole thing yesterday. We tried to go down, said psych your thought, and we went up. Okay. So for this is a little bit more interesting. We're going to retest this high. We're going to probably retest that, fail out, and tank. I want to make that pretty small stone. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a... Okay, that's perfect. I'll put a line there. That's... I'm going to put a saying Monday highs. I want to see what it does at that point. Okay. Now that that's back in sync somewhat. Put that there. Don't particularly need my drawing tool, so we're going to close that out. And then we're going to close this up. Okay. This is yesterday. This is the overnight. Okay, so this is yesterday. I want to see how it reacted yesterday. on a more individual tick point. We opened, tested, tanked. 10 minutes of tanking. Came up. Divergence. And bullish divergence. Could have got in on this retest of this bottom or this retest of this bottom. That's most likely a stronger point. As long as you're able to live through this consolidation. And that could have went up. I mean, yesterday looks like a pretty okay level. Yesterday was the 6th. Yeah, see. Hard sell off. See that? You lived through that intensity. And then retest, fail, push up, retest again, at which point when you start seeing this failing here, that was your entry. And then this is this consolidation. The combination of this and this, the way that this looked. Okay, backtrack. Most optimal thing for this, for a really high risk to reward, is this push down and then this retest. That's this. Alright, at that failure you could have entered. That would have been a little risky because that could have been just a pullback. Right? However, here it gets a little bit interesting. It tries to push up, fails, and then tries to push up, pushes up a little bit with this wick, fails, and then gets eaten back. If you're looking at a tick chart, you're seeing a little up, 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 and then really hard down to a doji. And this pushes up, and then there's another doji. At which point, if you enter on this doji here at 425, which would be halfway through this, be right here. Right at that arrowhead. I mean, that's better. That's better. Enter right there. Stop loss right here at 19, 18, 19. You're risking 6 points. And then your first take profit could be here. I always do a 2R ATR. A 2R of my ATR. So a multiple of 2. So I take whatever this ATR is and I multiply it by 2. That's my first take profit, and then I double it again for my second. But when it's a level like this, I mean, I don't even know what the ATR would be on that. Let me check. Snip that. 13 points. So if I'm entering right there, Stop loss is 19. That's already a 3-1, right? But it's 14, so I'm going for 28 for my first take profit. Right, so that candle there, it fails, it goes up. And then you're out there. Right, that's safe. And then 56 is your next. And if you're able to hold through that consolidation, which would make you shit yourself, but at which point you're at break even plus a point, potentially would have stopped you out. Potentially would have stopped you out on that, which would suck because this looks that would have been really nice. A 10-1. Now, because I'm only risking 5 points, I might just leave it there. I don't know. I have to, my risk management, I have to figure out, because on a trade like this, if I moved it up to break even, because I'm in at 24.5, right? That's that. And this candle low, I would have gotten within a tick of being stopped out, because I always do whatever it is plus a point. So my stop loss at this point would have been 425 or 450, because I'm in at 24.50, so I would have been in 25.50, and this low was 425.75. That's risky with slippage. I might do and it with half a point just to like cover commissions, and then let the rest go. I have to figure that out, but that would have been a solid trade. A solid 10-1 trade. And the only way you would have gone through that was gotten in with that would be off of the tick. Or you could, see it and be like, oh, I'm gonna, at this fail, I'm gonna enter. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna mute myself for a quick sec, use the bathroom, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's zoom this in a bit. Oh, I actually gotta log into this. Give me one moment. Okay. Forgot to log into TraderVate on Ninja. Not on Ninja. On TradingView. So because of the prop firm, it gives me access to both NinjaTrader and also TraderVate. For whatever reason, I kind of really like how my orders go in on NinjaTrader, especially if you have like a couple accounts. So that's more or less what I'm doing. Oh shit. Okay. Wow. That was quite intense, actually. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. $30-point move off of the open. That looks a little too big. I'm not keeping it like that. There's already a divergence off of this side. So it completely slapped through yesterday's overnight high. And now it's finding a little bit of resistance. I should have put this at yesterday's high. Let me do that real quick. Never mind. Isn't necessary. We've already completely obliterated yesterday's high. Yeah, you don't say. I got one big ass fat green candle. It's losing its momentum. But that might just be a pullback before it really continues. I want to see what it does when it comes up to this point. Also, where's my line? That's the line that I'm worried about. There's some weakness happening. The ES is kind of just continuing its run. I'm saying it's losing its momentum just because these candles are fairly big, but the volume isn't fully there. And the fact that we keep testing this shows weakness at this point. So we're gonna wait a sec before I even consider going anywhere with this. My instinct is to enter here, but I feel like I'm being impatient.
Order submitted. Order filled.
That could be either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
Yeah. Now 14. Down 75. That's at 40-ish. And now 14 times should be 28, right? 28 times 4 ticks. 112. I'm at 146. 36.75.
Order submitted.
And then 224 is the rest. Not the rest, but oh, wait. 14608.75.
Order submitted.
And then we let 3 runners go. Okay. I think that's good. This peaked. If that does not eat it, I'm closing that position. I got so close to getting filled, and it's not filling. Close.
Order filled.
I don't know if that was smart or not, but I got here 51. I gave up so many points. I just saw the volume was not there. So that could have been fine. It could have just been my own anxiety of that. 260, I was up like $500 at its peak. The fact that it didn't fill me at a tick and then that bullish candle happened, that was a problem for me. Worst case, I could re-enter. That trade netted me $250. Okay. Better than me being at break even right now. I could have been 100% wrong about cutting it there. I could have left. I maybe should have left it. But I don't particularly like the fact that these two candles don't have any volume behind them. That does not feel right to me. Yeah, that didn't feel right to me. The lack of volume to the downside and then that really strong candle, nope. So I'm glad I cut it there. I wish I cut it sooner. I would have got some more money out of it, but it's a lot better than watching this go up to my stop loss. Now, this is technically a retest. And this is about where I entered. It's like a couple points below. So let's see what happens. If it makes a new high, then I'm good on cutting that trade. If a big ass red candle comes out of nowhere and it just slaps this 50 points, I'm gonna be tight. And be like, damn, I should have waited for a retest. Cause that's usually what I do. I'll be honest with you. Let me make sure I didn't. Yeah, no, my mic's on. I was sidetracked. ADHD sidetracked the shit out of me right there. That's usually what I wait for. I usually wait for a retest like this. Me waiting for a retest like that kind of shows Sorry, I got real quiet because I was about to enter on that. I'd rather wait. I feel anxious because that was almost a disaster. So I say almost a disaster. That was a pretty.
Order filled. Order submitted.
10 points. And then I think I fucked that up.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted.
I don't like the fact that I'm just below. If this doesn't close bearish, I'm cutting that. Okay. I also significantly downsized. Four times my ATR is 60 points. $601. That's that. I'm really glad that it's half the position size that I usually would be in. I'm moving this up a bit. I'm gonna give it a second. I want to see how this closes. I'm closing that.
Order failed.
I'm closing that. I don't. There's a couple issues with this, and this could go completely in my direction to this downside. 1, delta on the 2-minute is flat, and this tanked. 2, really low volume, which means I'm looking for a bounce here. Now, hear me out. I could have potentially waited for this, but I'm looking at what the tick chart is doing here, and I don't like that, even in the slightest bit. It does not look right to me. So, with that being said, I don't particularly give a fuck. The chart doesn't look right. I'm getting out of that. This is definitely not a shorting moment. It was smart to short from the top here where I entered. Granted, I probably should have entered it a little bit earlier and got that, but I didn't. I waited for the retest and the fail like my rules say, and then I went down for it. Same thing here. Now, this was a better retest of the overnight of the today's highs, so I should have entered it here for like 5 points of risk, but it didn't go down very much. 20 points. It dropped 20 points when I'm trying to go for a 60-point drop, and we're back at my close. Now, these were pretty solid scalps. I was able to pull back quite a bit of money. 420, nice. But I'm trying to go for one solid trade to make my day, not quick scalps. When you're exposing yourself to something like that, it puts you in a pretty vulnerable spot. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to risk the whole farm on 20 points. And especially when I was a tick away from here, and then this made a new lower high. Granted, it didn't make a new higher high. No, it made a new lower high. A new lower high while this is flat. That's bullish divergence. This is bullish divergence. Low volume is bullish divergence. Low volume on the down position is bullish. So I'm either taking a trade off of the retrace here, or I'm taking a trade when we find support above our current high of day. Till then, I'm gonna sit my ass out of the thing. Let's see. We're currently at 317. So that last trade, $60, $75-ish. Now, that would have been a really nice drop. Did I overreact? Probably. This initial one would have hit my 2R and trying to reach for my 3R. And I might have gotten a little too anxious to deal with that, considering it was just swinging back and forth around my break even of my initial trade. It didn't feel right to me. I didn't want to risk that. Look at that. What did I say? Right as in the gold zone. Right in the gold zone. And we're getting some support. I want it to retest the low of days. And then that's when my entry is. I also want to see what the ES is doing, so I'm going to pull that up on the side. Same thing. Now the ES has a cleaner shot to the downside. Coming up here, peak, made a new higher high, and then completely tanked, but still with the low volume. Like this low volume, lower volume than this candle, but a bigger candle. High volume, high bullish volume here, and a low volume to the downside. This is showing me, and now we're having a divergence right there. Look, if I held through this, that would have been a beautiful. If I held through this initial trade, this would have been a beautiful trade. I don't trust it. Hmm. This is a new feature. Auto fit data to screen. That is such a new feature, and I love the fact that they added that. Oh, 10 o'clock. That was definitely something. Was there news that came out at 10? I didn't even really look, I'll be honest with you. it would make sense. That's BOC. Did they increase interest rates? Is that what this is? Yep. Policy interest rates got increased by another quarter tick. So then let's see what happens. That's a problem. I just missed that trade. Wow. Okay. I didn't miss that trade. I just got in I could get in at a better price. Also, that is so close to being filled. And that's my original trade. Well, both of them would have been solid. Wow. That's unfortunate. I'm not upset because I did not feel good about that trade at all. When I entered, I was like, this is what it should do. And then my emotions got a little out of hand because the charts were showing me one thing, and I was not okay with it. Now I am trying, also testing this. This is where I should have entered for this. Like I wrote that out. I entered perfectly on my first trade. I just didn't have the conviction to hold through it. I think I should have. Delta was decreasing. And while price was staying flat or decreasing. I think maybe 1,000 is too much, too little. And me seeing the jitter gave me a little bit of an anxiety attack right there. Hmm. Yeah, I think 1,000's too little. I just added this tick chart, so I'm finalizing. Like, I'm trying to get the what's it gonna call it? The charting right. My instinct is telling me 1,000's too short. That all this is a bunch of too much information for me to handle. I don't want to particularly go up to 2,000 because I think that might be too much. Well, 2,000 also would have stopped me from entering here, and it would have had me enter here. So when this retested up here, would have entered 61. I would have entered 7 points higher. And then when it failed and tried to come back up, I probably would have held through that because my stop loss would have been here at 5 points higher. Then this would have tanked. But I want something a little bit quicker than that. And then with this, I probably would have cut it sooner here instead of up here because of the way that this candle closed. And the fact that this was a divergence. This was flat here, while this looked like that. And the volume being that. And then my re-entry would have been this fail over here. Just I entered at 61. I entered at 61. I probably would have been 4 points higher at this come here and then this reject down. Let me see, 1350. Again, the entry here is fine. I would have exited the same spot with this candle. I wouldn't have entered there. Probably would have waited a little bit longer, depending on how this looked. That's 9. We'll say we entered at the close of this 64, 72. That's 8. My max risk that I'm willing to give for a trade is 15 points. That's the most amount that I would ever risk for a trade currently with how my setup is and the way that my like trading is. Obviously that could change in the future, but currently the way with everything is, I'd rather not trade and risk more than 15 points. Sorry, let me change that. I don't want to risk more than $300 currently. Now, that being said, if I'm using 10 contracts, $300 is 15 points. So I don't want to risk more than that. And I'm pretty sure that if I waited through that, if I didn't take this first trade, I probably would have held more through this second trade. And I would have probably captured this 60 points. I think that's probably what would have happened. But, you know, it is what it is. There's always the next day of trading. 23 out of 500. That's my drawdown. I have $2,300 left in drawdown before I failed at my challenge, my eval. Yeah. Now, If I didn't have the tick chart, I probably would have entered on the close of this, which would be the open of this chart right here. My stop loss would have been there. And first take profit would have been 2R. So it would have been there at this candle. And then second would have been here at this candle. And then this would be my runner. And this strategy, the one that I just showed you with the 2, it works really well. Ooh, this just hit a fib from a couple days ago. Oh no, that hit a fib from today. Oh. Are we ever going to test the overnight lows? That's a possibility. I want a break of structure and then a retest of the lows. What did this look like on a 5? Curious. Okay. Major divergence. Well, not a divergence yet, but There's a divergence here. I feel like I should have taken this when it was showing weakness. Cause now this is too far. But this is telling me to slow down and watch the chart. Shit. I really should have just held into this sell-off. Those like jumps, those are stop losses getting hit. So we're gonna test the overnight lows. That's an exhaustion candle. How exhausted are the sellers though? 20-point candle, 28-point candle, 12,000, and that's on par. Divergence with an exhaustion candle. Yeah, this is rough. There's no divergence here. I walked into today not knowing which direction it was gonna go, and that was an issue. I'll be right back. I got a phone call coming through. Yo, this sell-off is ridiculous. I really wish I held on through here, because I did get the high. I really should have entered and just held this out. Yeah, I got spooked, and that was my issue. 100% got spooked. I got spooked because my ticks were too small. At 1,000 tick. No, definitely not that. It was just a lot of noise. $13.50. Still some noise, but I would have been able to be like, all right, it's my entry would have been higher, for sure, at this doji. And then at 15, I would have re-entered somewhere in this with these two long wicks, probably this candle up here at 65 instead of 61. So I would have entered much later, dealt with this swing. This, I just the volume on these two candles when there was no follow through, and the fact that I entered very early in the day. I usually wait the first 10 minutes. If I waited the first 10 minutes, I could have entered right here on this reject candle, which is 10:44. So it's this area right here. So, yeah. I'm not gonna trade the 1,000. I said I was gonna give it a week under that to just try it out, and I don't particularly like it. I don't particularly like how fast it moves. I want it to slow down the trading, not increase it. Now I was able to pull some money out, so like, yeah, this doesn't look horrible. 317 on the day, longest trades 4 minutes. Like, that's not that bad. 7 minutes of work for $300. That's not bad, but it definitely could have been significantly better if my trading was a little bit slower and a lot less erratic. So let's put this, that. I want this to come down, find a support, and then start to reject. And at that rejection is when I'm entering a long position. If it makes a new low, then yeah. Yeah, I'm not. It's aggravating because I was right both times, and I just got spooked because my chart was going too fast. I technically would still be in this trade, I'll be honest with you, because my runner, after, if I was here, after this one, I leave 3 contracts as a runner, it would have come down, pulled back, and then tanked, and then that's where my next support would be. Pull back, tanked, and that's where my next support would be. Pull back, tanked, and that's where my next support would be. And I would probably be cutting it right about here, because from there to here, from where it was to here is another 92 points. That's $200 per contract times the 3 contracts that I had. So it would have been another $600 on top of the 28 points, $4 point. So that would have been 112 plus 560. I'm not mathing. 112 times 560. Oh, no, not times. Plus another $600. That would have been a $1,200 trade if I didn't get spooked by my tick chart. That's unfortunate. I could have made 4 times what I made if I didn't get on one trade. If I didn't get spooked by my trade. I want to know where VWAP is on this. Oh, we're at the bottom of it. We're at the very bottom of it. And I just realized I had my EMAs off. Today is not my day. Why did I turn it back off? Okay. Alright, we're okay. Kinda. This is my fault. It's my fault because I always wait for the retest and the rejection. This is where my entry would have been. At the, like, right around here. At which point I would have just let this run. That's the trade I always take. And today, I didn't do that. Because I was trying it too much. Because I was fucking with this. This bounced off of the 55 so many times. Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm getting really aggravated watching this continue to plummet, knowing that I could have made over $1,000 on a day, and now I'm waiting to watch for a reversal to go against the trend instead of what I should have just done of letting my stop loss get hit. Because the thing is, as I always say, once it hits my 2R, then I move to break even. I didn't wait for my 2R. I cut it early. My 2R was here, a tick away or 2 ticks away. I should have stuck through that. And if I did, I'd be in this like $2,000 trade right now. I genuinely would have been from this point to this point is 120 points. That's $240 times 3 contracts. So what? 212, 112. Would have been $1,400 if I cut it out here. It's getting close to 11 o'clock. I'm majorly pissed. Gonna make new lows. Watch. It needs to break this. It needs to go up 4 more points to break 96. I say 96.5. Okay. Now, I want it to come back, retest the lows of the day. See, buyers are coming in. Delta is a little bit higher than what it was. There's a change in delta. It keeps making new lows. A sell off this rough. I don't know. I see it pulling back. Today's open. Honestly, I should have just shorted this again. Took that ride down 30 points. The issue is that I know that the next time I go in for a short like that, after how hard we've been selling off, like, I should have took it here or here or here, right? The issue with me taking it here for a sell-off feels like the moment I enter for a short, it's going to tank. It's going to skyrocket. So I'd rather stay flat than entering a trade that would fuck me up. Yeah. I'm progressively getting more frustrated. Alright. Since that's the case, I'm done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys Friday. Hopefully I'm a lot less tilted on Friday than I am right now. And yeah, that'll be that on that. See you guys Friday.